You've now used one of the controls blocks that controls time. There are more that are very useful, such as the stopwatch feature or the timer. And they come in handy for examples such as splat racing. We're going to do splat racing now. In this example, we have when program starts, we're going to take that block out of the starting category and we're going to go back to the controls category and we're going to pull out a block that says countdown from 10. And it starts with 0, so we have to edit that number to be 10. That gives us a countdown when the program starts. And we're also going to pull out another starting block. When splat 1 pressed, we change the splat 1 score by 1, and we pull out a when splat pressed again, or we duplicate the last one, and we change it to when splat 2 is pressed, and we change splat 2 score by 1. If you've been following along with this whole video, then you might realize that this looks a lot like some code that we've already done. Remember how we saved our voting machine project and it had the same code? You can open up that project and you can drag the light splat 1 and light splat 2 blocks out of the when program starts and replace it with the countdown from 10 block, and you can save it under a new name and you've just reused blocks, which is one of the things that saving projects allows you to do, is you can pull back useful things and reuse them to save time.
Wow!
So in splat racing, both types of starting blocks are used again. So when you start the program by pressing run, a countdown timer keeps track of the time, and we can make this game even more exciting by adding some lights and sounds.
Yes!
So we'll return back to that later. You'll have your students running in place on splat 1 and splat 2, the code that has when splat 1 pressed, change splat 1 score by 1. For every time it fills a step, it will change that score. And when you have the same thing happening for when splat 2 is pressed, if you have 2 students running on 2 splats, then you'll see the numbers go up for every step that they make. And when the counter hits 0, you tell them to get off and you see who has more steps. If you have more students, you can see how you can copy this to up to 6 splats. You can copy splat 2 pressed and make 3, 4, 5, 6 and change the scores of all those splats. So you can have as many racers racing in place using very similar code.